Welcome everybody to the, what are we here on? We're on the Wholesale Real Estate Investing Show, number 241 by SAHA. This is, what is this? This is Wisdom Wednesday? Yeah. This is Wisdom Wednesday, March 30th, 2016. Sorry, I got a little text here of something very important. I just have to make a quick little reply. Oops. There you go. Okay. Well, here we go. Wisdom Wednesday. I want to welcome everybody, all you wholesale real estate investors, wannabe real estate investors, wherever you're at in real estate, especially these shows really especially are for the people who are interested in getting into real estate investing. Now there's gold nuggets in all our shows for people that are already involved, people that are already in it and doing it. Very worthy of watching to pull out some gold nuggets that can help you in your business. But really talking about, excuse me, really talking about and to a lot of the people that are interested in doing this, because and today's show I was kind of thinking about some songs. I actually kind of confused myself a little bit. I started thinking, first of all, working for a living, taking care of business because I'm working for a living, right? That's Huey Lewis in the News. But I was actually confusing that with Bachman Turner Overdrive, which was just taking care of business. And some of the lyrics in these songs, I just I don't know. I just don't know why I woke up thinking about this, but just something to kind of think about here. The BTO song, taking care of business because I'm working, no, that's Huey Lewis. Sorry, taking care of business every day, taking care of business every way, right? One of the lines in the song says, "And if your train's on time, you can get to work by 9 and start your slaving job to get your pay." That says a lot. If your train's on time, you can get to work by 9 and start your slaving job to get your pay. And if you ever get annoyed, look at me. I'm self-employed. I love to work at nothing all day. I mean, isn't that the dream? I mean, that song is talking about the dream. How many people slave away at their job every day just to get their pay when they would really like to be self-employed and work at nothing all day? And then the Huey Lewis song, taking care of business because I'm working for a living. Working for a living. I mean, is that all you get out of it, is a living? You're working for your living, just so I can live and survive? There's some serious stuff behind this. And then another one that I was thinking of, I think this is I want to say it's Loverboy, but I for some reason I think that's incorrect. But anyway, that one says, you guys probably remember this song too. Everybody's working for the weekend, right? How does that song go? Everybody's working for the weekend. Everybody needs a second chance. Everybody's going off the deep end. Everybody needs a new romance. Now, some people might confuse that last line into a new romance of, a relationship of some sort. But in reality, what he's talking about there is everybody needs a new romance as far as, what is it that you really love to do? Because what you are doing, if it's not something that you love to do, you need a second chance to do something different, right? Because what you're doing is taking you off the deep end. It's driving you nuts, right? So you need a new romance. You need a new love of some kind of opportunity, of some kind of work that you're doing. So like I said, I woke up with these songs kind of running through my head, and it was like, you know, the words in these songs, and there's probably a whole lot. There's probably a number of other songs out there. Just these three popped into my mind, but most people probably didn't get this. In fact, I mean, I never got this message out of these songs when they were hit songs. You know, I grew up with these songs being hit songs, being played on the radio all the time, and it never really occurred to me, you know, another kind of a meaning that could be behind these words. You know, if your train's on time, you can get to work by 9 and start your slaving job to get your pay. And if you ever get annoyed, look at me, I'm self-employed. I love to work at nothing all day. You know, that's a message. Hey, people, wake up. If you don't like your job, do something different, right? You know, everybody's working or taking care of business because we're working for a living. I mean, come on, guys. You can do something more than just live in this world, and stop going off the deep end and get a new romance. Do something of value. Do something of importance to yourself. Do something that you can enjoy doing. So what does all that have to do with wholesale real estate? Well, wholesale real estate could be something that you could fall in love with. It could be, you know, a second chance. It might still drive you off the deep end, because I'll tell you seriously, there's a lot to, you know, wholesale real estate and doing it. There's a lot of work involved. It's not just something that you know, is going to happen. You know, nothing happens in this, nothing is free in this world, and you're not going to get anything out of anything unless you actually do something, unless you actually put something into it. So there's work involved with anything that you're going to do, you know, and that's one of the big problems that people have is, you know, everybody's kind of looking for that free ride. Everybody's looking for that, oh, I'll sign up and I'll do this, and you know, and I'll be rich, you know, in a week. And it doesn't happen that way. You know, everything takes time. The life cycle of anything pretty much starts off like this, goes nowhere for a little while, starts to get a little momentum, starts to build, starts to take off, and then all of a sudden, finally, one day, you know, that's when you're going to get rich. But all of this right here, until you get to about right here, is a lot of hard work. Then it finally gets easy, the last little bit of it. And the same thing goes with wholesale real estate and real estate investing. You know, even if you're, you know, doing fix and flips, or even if you're doing you know, a buy and hold strategy, building a rental portfolio, there's a lot of work that goes into it at first. You know, you've got to get out there and figure out how to get money to do your projects, or how to get money to buy your properties. You got to figure out, you know, how to qualify and get good tenants. You got to figure out how to do rehabs and where to get you know, lesser expensive contractors and better deals on materials, and you know, all of these things. A lot of work goes into it, and after time, you get towards the end. You know, now you've got a dozen rental properties in your portfolio. You've sort of created a system for doing it. Now you can go out and you can kind of rinse and repeat, do it over and over and over again. It's very easy for you. It doesn't take, you know, your first one might take you a whole year just to just to figure out how to do it and get it, and get a renter in there and all that stuff. And then even after the first year with that first renter, maybe you got a bad renter, and you got to get them out and get a new renter, and you learn from that process. But eventually it becomes easier. Your fix and flips the same thing. You know, you take a lot of time to, you know, get that first project. You know, you got to get your money, you got to figure out all that stuff, you got to find the deals, you know, you got to hopefully get a good deal, you got to get the work, you got to find the contractors, you got to do, you know, all this stuff. You know, and over time, you do one, you do another, and you eventually end up getting, you know, building a system. You know, you've got people in place, you've got money in place. You know, you've got somebody who's helping you find really good deals, and things become simpler and easier, and you start making more and more money as things goes on. And the same thing in wholesale real estate. You know, you got to learn how to do your marketing, and you got to learn how to make offers, you got to learn how to comp properties, you got to do all this stuff. And you know, it might take you months and months and months to actually land and do your first deal. And then finally, once you do one deal, you've got something that kind of works. You do more of it. So it all goes that way. But the thing is that in real estate investing, in any phase of this real estate investing, you can transition from working your job where you're putting in time, where you go in and you put in your 40 hours Monday through Friday, and at the end of the week, or the end of your schedule, I don't like that word, at the end of your scheduled 5 days, you get a paycheck. And the next week you do the same thing and you get a paycheck. And the next week a paycheck. And the next week a paycheck. And that paycheck's always the same. It's the same month after month after month after month. Maybe a year later, your paycheck goes from $500 a week to $540 a week. Woo-hoo! Put in a whole year for that. In your real estate investing, you put in a week's time, or let's say, you still have to start out part-time. Let's say you can only put in 10 hours a week at this. But you put in 10 hours a week, and after, like I said, after 6 months, let's say, you make, I don't know, $2,000. All right, great. Well, now maybe it takes you 4 months to do your next deal and you make $2,000, or maybe you make $3,000, who knows, whatever it might be. But you have an opportunity for putting in the time to not just get that same paycheck at the end of the day. And that's where the whole that's where the advantage of doing something different outside of your job in real estate investing, like I said, whether it's wholesale real estate investing or fix and flip or buy and hold, whatever your strategy is the ability to create exponential returns, more and more and more money as you put more and more and more work and time into this. One of the things that people have a hard time getting past is sort of an employee mentality, especially when they get started in something like this, is because I can almost guarantee you it's going to take a long time for something to first happen for you. And a lot of people will put in a lot of time. They'll put in time, and then all of a sudden they'll get, a month, 2 months, 3 months down the road, whatever it might be, and they'll stop and they'll look back and they'll say, "Oh my God, look at all this time I've put in, and I haven't got anything out of it. This crap doesn't work." That's a big, big problem, because that comes from the employee mentality of having to put in your time for your money. You've got to shift your thinking to understand that I'm not going to get paid for the time that I put in. I'm going to get paid for what I put in. I'm going to get paid on my results. I'm going to get paid on the production that I do. I'm going to get paid on the actions that I take. I'm going to get paid on what I actually do, right? When you go to work, there's so many things in a day that you have to, that you have to get done, right? If you get something done on Monday, and then let's just say you have to do, well, and most jobs you have to do the same thing over and over and over again, right? So let's say you can go in on Monday and you can get something done, and on Tuesday you can get something done. So at the end of the week, you've gotten 5 things. You've done the same 5 things. You've gotten 5 projects or jobs or whatever it is, 5 jobs done at the end of the week, and you're going to get your $500. Well, even if you increased your production and you could do, a job and a half every day, and at the end of the week you actually got, ended up getting what that would be, 1.5, 3, 6.5 jobs done. No, 6, 7.5 jobs done instead of 5. Well, you still get $500. And it's because of that process right there that a lot of people, get started in their jobs and they do that. And then the next thing you know, they start seeing, well, gosh, I've been doing all this extra work and I'm still only getting $500. So why am I doing all this extra work? All they require me to do is get 5 jobs done. So I'm just going to slip back and start just getting 5 jobs done. And now you're just kind of skating along week after week and collecting your $500. And when you carry that sort of a mentality into your real estate investing business, you have that, you can very easily get yourself to that point where, like I say, where you'll look back and you go, God, I put in all this time and I haven't gotten anything out of this. And it is very disappointing, but it's a test. It's the universe testing your persistence, testing your willpower, testing your strength, testing your desire for what it is that you truly want. And you have to pass this test. You have to say, you know what, man, I've put in a lot of time and I haven't gotten nothing. But I know this works. I know that I can do it. I know that it's going to happen and I'm going to make it happen. I believe this is real and I'm going to do it. And you just have to keep on being persistent and plugging along. And after a little bit more time, once you kind of get past that testing point of, breaking through the employee mentality phase and starting to believe that, no matter what it takes, this is going to happen for me. That's when you'll get your first deal. That's when you'll do your first deal. That's when you'll land your first property. That's when you'll start your first project, because you've shown to the world that I'm committed. There's nothing going to dissuade me off my path. I'm not just one of those wannabes who wants to be, who wants to have it all given to me. I'm going to go out and I'm going to take it. I'm going to make it happen. You got to prove that to the universe, otherwise you won't be rewarded for it. And the funny thing is, this is, and you can almost count on this absolutely going to happen, is you'll get, and this could, because when you get your first one, it's another test. Okay. It's like, okay, all right, you passed the first test. You showed you're committed. Here you go. Your reward. Very good. Now, really prove it to me. Really prove that you're committed. Really prove that this is what you want. Really prove that you're going to do whatever it takes. And doing the second one might actually feel, it'll probably come in equal or shorter amount of time, but it might actually feel harder than the first one. It's another test. You got to get through 2. 3 is the magic number. In all actuality, for a lot of things, 3 is a magic number. 5 is a big magic number too. 1, 3, and 5. 2 and 4 are sort of like fillers. But, when you've done 2 deals and you can get that third deal, you've got some momentum built. You've got some confidence built. You've got some willpower. You've got some drive. You've got some belief built. It's still very shaky and still very weak because it's all still something new to you. However, you can get that 4th deal, you can get that 5th deal. Now you're really feeling some confidence. You're really feeling strong. You're really believing. There's going to be almost nothing that can dissuade you at this point from following your path. And once you get on your way beyond your 5th deal, you're going to be feeling really good about your business and your decision to go down the real estate path, because it's going to become easier. The money's going to start coming in easier. Now, there's still all kinds of outside forces that are going to be pulling against you, tugging away, saying, no, 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 go back to the job, go back to that comfort. Oh my God, look at, you put in all this money, you put in all this time. Sure, you made some money, but so what? You had to take all that money and put it back into doing it again. You really only put a little bit in your pocket. Things like that. People saying exactly that. People that family members saying, are you kidding me? Look at what you did. It took you 6 months just to get a stupid deal, and then it took you another 4 or 5 months to get the work done. It took you another 6 months to get the work done and sell the thing. A whole year you put in, you made a lousy 10 grand. You make $50,000 a year at your job. Why bother with that? Just stick with your job. Hey, wait a second. I did all that. Look back on it. I only made 10 grand, sure. I put in a lot of time, sure. But now I know, excuse me, but now I know what to do. Now I can do this a little bit easier. Now I can make this happen a little bit easier. Now maybe I can do my next job in 6 months. And maybe because I learned some things, maybe there's a few things I can do a little bit cheaper. Maybe I can save a little bit of money on the way. You know, maybe I can make 15 grand on my second one, you know? So I just really want, I don't know why those songs to me today just brought into my mind the whole idea of the employee mentality and what it really, really takes to break through the barrier of you getting to a level of success in your real estate investing career and business that you either are in or have just started or are looking to get into, wherever, like I said, whatever level you're at. And now those of you who, you know, who have done this, and, you know, we're talking, you've done, you know, 10, 15, 20 deals, whatever, you're well on your way. You might be able to look back on what I'm talking about here and say, you know what, I never really realized that, yeah, how many times I was being tested along the way. And you're going to find out too, some of those tests, you know, you're going to fail some of those tests, and they could be some costly tests in there. I'll tell you what, especially in wholesale real estate, you know, um, well, yeah, actually, there's two things. There's tests and there's lessons. Okay, there's in whatever you do, you're going to have both. You're going to have tests and you're going to have lessons. The tests probably aren't going to cost you anything, but they are going to, you know, test your willpower. They're going to test your inner strength. They're going to test your desire and your persistence and all those things that I talked about. Then there's going to be lessons along the way, because you know what? You don't know everything. You don't know how much you don't know. And there's going to be things that come along that you have no clue about. You know nothing. And you're going to make a choice. You're going to make a decision. You're going to go in a direction in whatever this is, this little question, problem, whatever that comes your way. And you're going to proceed in that direction. And when it's all said and done, you're going to look back and go, oh my God, what a disaster that was. That was not good. Or you know, or maybe it's not that bad. Maybe it's like, you know, wow, that definitely could have been done a little bit better. And you reach a point now that, I mean, okay, you look back, you see that. Are you going to do that again? No. You're going to look at that and you're going to go, okay, let's take a look at this. What did we do wrong? Where did this go wrong? How was our decision bad? You know, what was the problem? What caused it? All those things, and say, okay, boom, pinpoint what that problem is. Say, okay, now how do we fix that? How do we not do that again? It's called correct and continue. Okay, you have a problem, something goes awry, something costs you extra money, or for some reason it causes you not to make. You realize that's one of the good things about the lessons. Hopefully, hopefully, for us, our lessons went this way. It didn't cost us any, none of them cost us any money out of our pocket. We never lost any money on anything. But what happened was, at the end of the day, we looked back and we went, shoot, we could have made a whole lot more money. And most of our lessons cost us anywhere between $5,000 and $30,000. We could have made anywhere between $5,000 and $30,000 more than what we did, because we didn't do something the way that it should have been done. Or the way that it could have been done. And like I said, it's not a big deal. We still did it. We still got it done, but it cost us a whole lot more than it could have and should have to do it. And it didn't create a loss. But at the end of the day, when we made our sale, you know, instead of a profit this big, it only created a profit this big. So that's the lessons. Hopefully will come that way for you, in that, you know, it's not going to cost you money out of your pocket, but at the end of the day, you want to look back and say, you know what, these things could have been done better in order to increase our profit margin. So you want to always be looking at increasing your profit margin and doing things better. So, like I said, taking care of business and working for a living, we want to do something a whole lot better than that. We want to do more than just work for our living, okay? Working for the weekend, you know, look at me. I'm self-employed. I would love to work at nothing all day. Those three songs that I brought up earlier in the show, uh, there's a real message in the words that were in those songs. Like I said, that myself and probably hundreds of thousands of millions of people never really got the message out of those lyrics within those songs that somehow or another this morning just became clear to me, gave me some clarity on what the real meaning behind them was. And I wanted to share that with you guys today. So I hope you guys really enjoyed the show here. I hope you got some real good information. Like I said, for you guys who are already into the business, a reflection back on seeing, you know, how all this stuff probably applied to your journey in getting to where you're at now. Those of you who are right in the middle of it, maybe I've opened your eyes to something that you could say, oh, wow, you know what? I'm right in that phase right now. What do I have to look forward to? I better, you know, be on my toes here, kind of a thing, and kind of know what to expect to be coming. And those of you who are, like I said, interested in getting started in some phase of real estate, whether, like I said, it be wholesaling, fixing and flipping, or you know, buying and holding and building a portfolio or whatnot. For those of you that are looking to get started in it, just a little bit of foresight on what you can expect and some of the ways that you can maybe plan to go forward and to, you know, be persistent and bullheaded and keep your strength up and your beliefs strong and not lose your willpower to achieve your desire and your goal of being successful at this, because that's what it really comes down to. The universe is going to test you. I promise that. It's going to test you hard. It's going to knock you down every time you turn around, and you just got to get up, dust yourself off, and go, wow, where'd that one come from? And try to figure it out and move forward. And so one last little thing I just want to point out, you know, the propertynoodlers@gmail.com. We would love to share our experiences with you guys and help you to get past some of those things in a much easier way. You know, maybe you can avoid some of those punches that are going to knock you on your butt. Maybe you can, you know, at least maybe turn and take them on the shoulder instead of on the jaw, whatever the case might be. You know, we love to share, we love to help. And, you know, we're building a team here that is built all around that, is, you know, helping people to learn and grow and experience without having to take, you know, on a lot of the blows. So if any of that's of any interest to you or of any help to you, feel free to send us an email. We're more than happy to help. And with that, I'm going to end the show today, as we always do, with the Napoleon Hill prayer, which says, "O universe, I ask not for more riches, but for more wisdom, with which to make better use of the riches given to me at birth, consisting of the power to control and direct my own mind to whatever end I might desire." And that is definitely the desire to stay strong and stay persistent and believe that I can do it and I can succeed. Everybody have a great Wisdom Wednesday. We'll see you back here on Freedom Friday.